Objection. Joe Goodhue, the Honourable Joe Goodhue.
Mr Speaker, I rise in this general debate and I want to acknowledge the fact that there are members in this House who have worked themselves into a lather about the people the Prime Minister talks to. It's going to be a long lather because the Prime Minister talks to people all the time. In fact, he is regularly mobbed around this country and people want to get into his ear and they want to ask his advice and they want to tell him about the things that are happening in their lives. Because this is a Prime Minister that is in touch with New Zealanders. This is a Prime Minister who in fact understands that he has ministers doing a job and he will send people to talk to those ministers. It's really not that unusual. We are approaching quite rapidly, the days are going quite quickly towards the Honourable Bill English's 8th budget. So we've seen a few announcements and I do want to cover off on those just briefly today. But those announcements will continue the path that this government has taken. This is about advancing the work that we've been doing, about a more productive and competitive economy through our business growth agenda. We have focused on delivering better public services in health, in education, in the fields of justice. The other thing that we have done is been completely committed to responsible fiscal management, something that has been welcomed by the New Zealand public, particularly during tough times. They don't want to see a government squandering money. So today, on International Firefighters Day, I want to acknowledge the pre-budget announcement of $303 million investment over 5 years to merge and reform New Zealand's fire services, to call them Fire and Emergency New Zealand. This is something that has been welcomed by the volunteers who are firefighters around our nation, and something that is a very positive way forward. But in order to actually understand yet another of the budget announcements, we need to look to the vibes that we're getting back from our constituents, and I certainly have had so in the $39 million a year over 4 years announced for Pharmac, alongside of $11 million coming from DHBs, now at $850 million a year, the largest ever budget by a country mile. In fact, since 2008, that's a $200 million increase of funding for Pharmac. And I can note the heads on the other side of the House are way down on this one because, in fact, they know they cannot slam that sort of support for our Pharmac's budget, for the ever-increasing demand for more and modern medications. Of course there will be. There will always be a competitive tension over which medications are funded and which are not able to be funded. Pharmac have a very difficult job, but it is a model that is the envy of many other nations around the world. So we're heading towards budgets. No longer do people look to budgets for lolly scrambles. Under this government, they understand it will be careful stewardship of their money. It's not the government's money, it's the taxpayers' money. And last year, of course, what we saw was this, what was reported to me as gobsmacking. First time in 43 years, $25 rate increase for those who were relying on benefits, families with children, something that completely stopped the traffic on the other side of the House. It was a beautiful sight. It was a beautiful sight. But what we know about the budgets that this side of the House put together is that they are carefully analysed. We know that we are investing in New Zealanders, that the whole social investment idea is something that is quite new to New Zealand and certainly was never comprehended by the other side, who threw money after votes. Threw money after votes. And it appears that my time is too short and is nearly over, so I leave the House knowing that everyone will be looking forward to Bill English's 8th budget.
Well said. Great.